So I'm Crystal, and I thought what I decided to do was to create this really short video. And this is often some of the background information that I'll give somebody at the beginning of my work with them. And it's really what I'm going to do is provide just a really brief snapshot of how healing works. Okay. And to open up, I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Crystal, and I am what's called a psychic medical intuitive. And what that means is that my abilities allow me to sense people's vibrations at a cellular level. Okay. And um, along with that, I have a telepathic connection to energy. And so I can also feel or sense their emotions because emotions um, are vibrations. Okay. I don't do this with people unless I'm working with them. So I do like to respect people's privacy. Um, that being said, another piece that I'd like to add to this is I have recently invested in what's called biofield imagery technology, and it converts the pixels in a picture into a color that shows your frequency. So that those pictures are showing what I can feel. And so what I've been doing in my healing work um, sometimes, and what I would be offering for you is a before and after picture of what your body looks like. And so it's going to show it at the cellular level. Okay. So to kind of uh, establish this a bit for you, um, my telepathic abilities, if you want to call it that, a lot of the support and training that I received from soul guides um, was to learn everything you could ever imagine about the human anatomy and how it was designed in a specific way to interact with the human mind. Okay, our mindset, and that mindset really needs to be lined up with how our body was designed to work with energy. Okay, when it is lined up that way, people feel healthy because they understand the um, the power, I guess, of a positive vibration. Okay, and so when I give people spiritual healing or spiritual guidance, your spirit is your self awareness. It's your consciousness. Okay, so the way that you were raised, the way that you grew up, um, you learned different ways to understand self, who you are, that formed an architecture in your subconscious mind. And that, if it isn't really worked through, sometimes you can end up being an adult that has really interesting things going on in your energy system. It's creating a pattern that is showing itself out into the world through your heartbeat. And so you're getting interactions based upon things that perhaps you're not even aware of. Okay. And so a lot of the work I do, I have healing hands. And so I move people's energy and I move those emotions out of people, their bodies sometimes, out of their central nervous system, their spinal cord, um, in ways that once it's gone, and people know it. Okay? So, something I'm just going to draw here for you um, is I think I'm going to use this color. Okay, so, and part of the stick figures, um, but so this is the human being. Can you see that? Oh, good. All right. The human being. And each of, we have a central nervous system uh, that each of these nerve centers in our body, okay, they're nerve centers that have neurons in them. And neurons are the same cells that are in your brain that learn. They wire together through habits of thought or habits of being. They learn and they produce a certain type of chemistry that reinforces that learning, okay? And so our whole central nervous system, each part of our body, the base of our spine, our gut, our solar plexus, our heart, our thyroid gland and throat, our pineal gland and the supporting glands in our brain. Okay, and then up here, this heart, the head chakra. That's something very different. Okay, these neurons, based upon how you grew up, And what you learned when you were young are learning about who you are and how you move through the world. Okay, and it has such strong implications for your health and well-being. Okay, um, within the central nervous system, there are chakras that correspond to it, and that is how your soul, inner being, your soul, is pure positive energy that is incarnated through you. Um, it is manifesting itself through your heartbeat, which is a really huge magnetic field that surrounds your entire body, several feet. Okay, and that vibration is based upon these neurons firing in a particular way, whether or not they're balanced and worked out by the time they reach your heartbeat. Okay, and when your heartbeat is beating, you're putting out a magnetic field signature. And I like to call that people's unique energetic fingerprint. And when I am working with somebody, I feel that like this: their whole history, the emotions, everything in a snapshot. And then I, through a variety of different processes or ways of healing, with healing hands, I can use just about anything um, to work to move frequency patterns out of a person's organs, um, speak with them, educate them. It's been all over the place. There are just a variety of ways that I work with people. Okay. And so I'm telling you this because with each of you, as you'll see on that piece of paper, I want to offer an hour session. And so I wanted to get this piece of it, takes up a lot of time, getting this education across. Once you can really understand this piece of it, this is when the magic happens, you all. This is when I'm seeing the people that I'm working with. They're completely different people. I have eye resonance abilities, and so I can actually see the moment their spirit lights up again and looks through their eyes at me. And that's the moment where we sit still and we look at each other, and I say, there you are. You're right there. So that happens every time. That's you, your spirit. Okay. So I'm going to explain that a little bit in just a moment too. So that's kind of this whole piece here. I'll work through more once we get together because I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time on this video with you and overwhelm you like with too much talking. Okay. Suffice it to say, each of these chakras involves a different level of self-awareness or self-understanding. Okay. So the bottom three chakras really are about embodiment of your soul, your and how what your experience is of self since you were young. Okay, so the root chakra or the base of your spine is often about worthiness or dignity. And I'm going to give you a scenario. If there wasn't that placed within you when you were young, for whatever reason, and there's so many people like that, don't ever feel bad about that. Almost everybody I meet with, there's something there. Okay, it's okay. So then in the sacral chakra, that's how we experience who we are through pleasure or through out there in the world. Okay. So if it isn't balanced here, that these are people that sometimes will look outside of themselves for a really long time to feel complete through shopping, drugs, relationships, whatever it is. And those are the people, they beat themselves up so badly. And to me, I'm like, so intuitively that life is supposed to be better for you. You just keep looking. They'll keep looking. And sometimes there's a spiral that goes on there, okay? Because that kind of blows up, and you're like, oh, I'm going to go over here. That blows up, and it just continues to go on. And people's health is suffering in the meantime as well. And so I like to take that apart with people sometimes. No problem at all, okay? Then we have our solar plexus, okay? This is how your spirit expresses itself through they call it self-esteem, okay? Your spirit, self-esteem, okay? That's not lined up. I want you to think about the kind of energy that's flowing up and out through your heartbeat. If this is all like, what's going to complete me? And oh my gosh, everything's just always so stressful. And my life is always going to be like this. And every time I do this, this happens. This kind of stuff, that isn't how your life is supposed to be at all. At all. It's your vibration. And your heart is manifesting a magnetic field where other energetic components are they work. There's an energy dynamic going on there. Okay. And so it's not punishment. It's somebody else or some other situation where your vibe is eliciting an expectation you don't even know you have because it came from when you were younger, and you never get the raise. You never, something doesn't ever happen and you don't get it. We work through that kind of stuff. It's really not your fault. Okay. All right. So one other thing I'd like to share about um, this piece of it. So, and here's some, it's just how it works. So I'm just going to share it with you. Okay. Our minds, I'm going to do a different color. Our minds, it's an electromagnetic field. Okay. So here's your mind, and it is in a different dimension. Can you even see that? Well, anyway, let me just do it in red. Okay, so this is your mind, and it's in another dimension, and it is moving through your perception of reality, which is in your optic nerves, okay, faster than you have time to think. Your brain is a receiver of your mind's frequency. I know that sounds weird, or maybe some of you have heard this, but your mind is in a different dimension. Your brain is a receiver, and depending on where you're vibing, if say you're not healed here, you've got a subconscious mind, which is the architecture. It's the architecture of how you think since you were young. That architecture, if it's still there and it's limiting you, or you're saying I'm going to be abundant and you're doing all these affirmations, but you don't believe it, you're pushing up against something that's really destructive for yourself. Okay, that architecture has to be pulled out through your energy field. Truly, honestly, that's the kind of work I do with my energy healing with my hands. We move all of that out, or as much as possible. Okay, and what happens is, it's not very close. You can't see it very well, but anyhow, this subconscious here, the less of this that's there, you are then at your higher mind. That higher mind, that higher consciousness is your higher self. That's what a higher self is. We all have one. It's your best you. And everybody has that. And that higher self, when you die, goes on to do other things. Did you know that? So that's your spirit. That's your spirit. Your soul incarnates. It's pure positive energy incarnated through you. And the gift that it gives is that when it leaves, that energy and your mind had the opportunity in this lifetime to line up for your well-being and live your best life as a creator, creating what you want out of your life, okay? That spirit leaves and goes on to do whatever you want to do after you pass away, okay? That spirit, spiritual healing then, that's me saying, the moment your eyes look out at me when the healing happens and I see your spirit look through your eyes, I'm like I said, there you are. Let's sit here for a moment. Do you feel it? Okay? Because that's your higher self coming back into the picture. Or sometimes for some people for the very first time. It's absolutely a beautiful thing to see. Okay? So this is kind of how it works. The snapshot of how creation works, how we manifest. And I'd encourage you to take a look at that flyer I made. You all are really wonderful people, and I have been making it a point to think about people that provide care for others that don't often have anybody taking care of them. And I want to break what I call the chain of pain. Caregivers need to be taken care of too. And I just thought, you know what? You're the first of 3 different organizations I'm going to be working with to offer this discount because I just feel like it's the right thing. It's the right thing. There's enough of you that have been interested, and I do not want money to be an obstacle. Okay, so think about that. Also, again with the biofield imagery stuff, I have technology that will take pictures of your frequency. So I'll be giving you a before and after, so you can see the changes that have happened. Okay, well, thanks so much, everybody, and take care.